Hey guys, Frank here, and I've got some great news for all you Alengrom and Sony users. And I know you've been waiting for this. I know I have. Now, a while ago, Alengrom introduced a new system, the high-sync system. That was awesome, because in the old days, when you want to fight the sun with your strobes outside, you need a lot of power. Now, if you brought a Quadra and a Maxi light, well, it could work. The only problem was you burned through your battery very, very fast for the very simple reason you need it on full power. The other problem was, of course, depth of field. You had depth of field from here till Tokyo for the very simple reason you had to shoot on f/22 or f/32. Now, if your lens couldn't cope, you needed to shoot with an ND filter. In other words, not a really good solution. But it worked, and it's been working that way for years. And we worked around it, right? It always worked great. And if you want shallow depth of field, just use a lot of ND filters and lose out of focus, of course, unless you're shooting a Sony. Now, Alengrom broke the rule of the 125th. Now, what is the 125th? That's in most cameras the maximum shutter speed you can use when shooting with normal strobes. With the high sync system, they actually use a very slow head, which gives you the opportunity, believe it or not, to shoot up to 1/8,000th of a second with your strobes outside. Now this means a whole lot of stuff with new creativity. And you can of course shoot it to freeze motion, but think about this, shooting day to night with an aperture of 2.8, so a very, very shallow depth of field, thanks to the high shutter speeds. Now for Canon and Nikon the system was already on the market. And now since June 8, Alengrom also released it for the Sony, my own personal favorite camera. Now, how does the system work? Well, there are many videos out there explaining that, including one of mine. Actually, two. Now, what is important to know about the Sony system is something that a lot of people will experience, and it's not the fault of the Alengrom. And that's why I want to address this in this video. Now, when you use a normal old Skyport or any dumb trigger on your Sony, it will trigger the strobes very quickly. Now, on some cameras, like the A7R II, the one I'm holding here, there's a slight delay as soon as you start using speed lights. And that's the speed light from Sony itself, it's the speed light from Photix, the system I use with the Odin, and now also with the new Skyport. So if you have a Sony camera and you want to fight the sun, and you want to shoot on 2.8, and you want to do all that funky stuff with the fastest shutter speeds, you still need the Alengrom high sync system. But remember, there will be a slight delay between pressing the shutter and the strobe firing. And that's not the fault of the system itself. It's actually inside the Sony camera. And I hope they're going to solve that in the future. But for now, that was my heads up for you guys. And of course, the great news that now finally this system is available for Sony. You can shoot it on high speed, you can shoot it on the normal settings, you can do whatever you're used to with the old Skyport. And the most important thing, you now see everything in a cool display where you can see all your strobes and you can change the output with a very simple dial. Isn't that beautiful? So go out you guys and fight the sun and make some stunning images with the new Alengrom system. See you.